In this video, traders, we're going to look at what should you do after a devastating loss. Stay tuned. Hey guys, warm welcome to a bit of a serious one for this video. Now I know we do some light-hearted kind of stuff. We'll do some more in-depth education and psychology and strategy and that kind of stuff. This is really what should you do, or really, an idea on what you should do potentially after a devastating loss. Now, I get messages from time to time from people who say, you know what, I've lost money, and this is kind of where this one's come from. I lost $48,000. What should I do? And obviously, some people, $48,000 isn't significant. Some people, it's their life savings. So, the order of magnitude doesn't matter on the monetary amount. It's, if it's devastating for you. Now, reading between the lines of a lot of these messages, fortunately there's not that many, but the messages when people have had devastating losses, I need to get it back quickly. And that's human nature, right? We think that we can alleviate the pain of the loss if we get it back quickly. And that happens on a smaller scale, okay? If you make a day trade, a few day trades in a row, you have a losing day, you want to get it back quickly. You want to get it back. It's just the way that we're wired, because we think that if we undo the mistake, the pain of the mistake will go away. And as human beings, we seek pleasure and not pain, which is why we like to eat kind of junk food, and we like to do things that are not that great for our long-term health or success, and why we have to kind of be more focused in that. So this is the kind of messages we get. It's like, hey, I've done this, I've had a devastating loss, and it's normally unexpected. Like, they haven't lost this over a year, because if they've lost over a year, you'd say, well, okay, you've probably gone a little bit too heavy and aggressive with your trading, but you've learned some lessons and you've probably got value out of that. Maybe even better if you'd spent a tenth of that over the year, but nevertheless. But most of the time it's on a short period of time, and most of the time it's one or two trades that cause people to go on tilt. Now, I've had losses myself that were way bigger than they should have been, and purely because in my early days I would go on tilt and I would try and trade out of holes, which inevitably dig holes. And if you're a subscriber, you've probably seen videos where I've talked almost quite passionately about this, because I experienced it myself. But the thing is when you've had a devastating loss and it's in a short period of time, you've got to fight the urge to dig yourself out of it, because that is when that turns into, a 100k loss, a 200k loss. And unfortunately, I've seen that as well, where people, fortunately not myself, but I've seen people who have taken heavy losses and they've turned them into just catastrophic losses just because they want to get that loss back. Whereas in reality, it's like, listen, what's done is done. The first thing to do is to stop trading. It sounds so simple, and it sounds like, I don't want to hear it, I want to make money back. But this is the best thing you can do by far. If you've lost this money in a short period of time, you are obviously out of tune with the market. If you want to get it back quickly, you are gambling. You are probably, in fact, almost definitely going to have a better shot of taking another £48,000 or dollars and sticking it in a casino. You've got a 50-50 shot, or 48 point whatever percent shot of doubling your money there. Whereas in trading, you'll probably, lose another grand, another 4, another 3, another 2, and you'll just drive yourself into despair. Now, I'm definitely not recommending going to a casino, but my point is that if you wanted to get it back quickly, you'd have better success doing that way than you would in the market, because your frame of mind is in the worst possible condition. You are in the worst possible state to trade, and the best thing you can do is to stop. Take time off to reflect. Now, some people, that might be the end of the trading career. They might go, you know what, I've had enough of it, I don't want the pain anymore of it, I'll take that on the chin, I'll move on with my life. Others may say, you know what, I'm going to take a lesson from this and I'm going to move on, because I know that 5 years down the line, I'm going to look back on that 48k and think, you know what, it was the start of a good growth period for me. So once you've stopped and you've taken this, and I will talk about this as well for, big losses, but I think when you've got catastrophic loss, as in significant whole accounts, you've put more money in, savings, you took in big money, then the stakes are higher. Right? We've lost a couple of grand in a half a day or whatever, and you've got a 10 grand account, a 20 grand account. It's not great, but it's not as catastrophic as perhaps topping up accounts regularly and losing a significant amount of net worth for you. So stop trading and reassess. Number one, then go to yourself, do I want to continue on this path? If I do, I'm prepared to put in multiple years, yes or no. If I do, great. If I don't, fine, close the account, never look at another stock market again. think of it as just a lesson. If I do, now I need to take time off. I need to not think about anything to do with the markets. I need to not let that not dwell on that too much. I need to get out of the thought of making it back. Now, when I'm clear of that, I need to have an action plan of how to move forward. What do I need to learn from this? Now, undoubtedly, or most likely, the scenario was this. You went into a trade, you took a trade. Maybe let's say you risked 2K on the trade. You lost quickly. You went in again. Maybe it was you weren't quite in the right conditions. You put another 2K in on the deal. You went up, the market went up, it came back down, almost there, and it stops you out again. Now perhaps you went into the same trade. This is kind of the likely scenario, is this is the same trade. So you go in now, well, this time you lose 5K or 8K even, because you've gone in, you've increased your size because you want to get that 4K back because you're frustrated you've lost the 4K. So you go in a little bit more size. Market starts to go towards your stop. You move your stop a little bit lower. The price goes down. Perhaps it pings you out, moves a little bit lower. You get back in, but with even more size. So now you're well and truly all over the place. So you're an even bigger size than you were initially. Your risk is quite high. Market moves lower. You've got your stop loss there. You decide to pull that stop loss because you don't want to get stopped out. You've been stopped out 3 times in a row now. I don't want to get stopped out again. I've seen the market pop up on me. Now it starts to hammer lower. You can't take it because you're in big size. You look over at your dashboard, you see the account balance, you see it go negative 8K, and you pull the plug. You're like, oh man, I've lost 12K here. Then perhaps you go away, you come back, you think, I'll go get that 12K back. And the cycle repeats itself. Perhaps the next afternoon, the next morning, you go in, you're trading bigger size than you should be. You're trading setups which aren't really there because you don't have the patience. Your patience has gone, your risk management has gone, so you're trading stuff that's nowhere near the trading plan. And of course, we can go on, but the point is you can see how that can turn into a catastrophic loss that really hammers you. So you learn from that and say, well, if I can avoid getting into that state, that's got to be my #1 priority. That then goes into your trading plan. Whatever I do not let myself ever get back into that state again. And depending on how your performance was before that, perhaps you made some money before that, perhaps you hadn't. But if you can eliminate that the next time, at least you know that whenever those telltale signs, there'll be loads of clues. And worst case scenario, you can get out with a 4K loss on that. But there'll be loads more clues before you hit that kind of stuff at that level. Then you go, you know what, those are the clues. I need to stop. I need to refresh. I need to step back because I don't want to do it. And then you put in place a plan to move forward. Now, we're not going to go to depth of a trading plan in this video. I've got some other videos on that you guys can check out if you'd like to. But the point is then you start to move forward. You have to accept it. Say, what can I learn from it? What are the telltale signs to not avoid it again? Because the last thing you want to do is do it again if you continue to trade. Now, what's my trading plan to move forward? And then start the kind of chapter from there. Forget about the previous stuff. Have those warning bells in place, so to speak. But then, hey, this is my trading plan. Move forward from there. But the main thing, guys, is just to stop and just to not also link your self-worth with the last trade or a devastating loss. Too many people, from a real serious perspective, have done stupid things just because they've lost money on a couple of bad trades, and they've felt so bad about it. Their self-worth, they've let the family down, they feel all these things, and honestly, nothing is worth that, is it? So put it into perspective. That's the main thing. As hard as it's going to be if it's catastrophic, stop and think about, do I want to continue? Do I not want to continue? Okay, if I want to continue, it's going to be a slow process. Accept it, but know that it's possible to come back. It's not going to happen instantly. That's the initial knee-jerk reaction you want to kind of combat. But other than that, move on, pursue things, keep the risk management as tight as you can. All right, guys, I hope this helped. I hope none of you are in a catastrophic loss condition. I hope none of you ever get into that scenario. But if you do, please put in place warning signs so that you don't. But if you do, then, recognize time to stop, time to refresh. Don't take it that much to heart, and maybe move on from it in whichever direction you choose. Anyway, guys, see you next one. Take care. Bye-bye.